Well, legend has it that I started the Silver Age, only I didn't know it. Not only didn't I know it, I didn't know there was going to be a Silver Age, because the Silver Age is only a Silver Age or any other age after it's over. I was involved in the Golden Age of comics, but I didn't know I was in the Golden Age. What had happened is, after 4 or 5 years in which superheroes did not appear, except for Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, we, or maybe I decided, we put out Flash again, which is a comic I edited back in the 40s. Now, because in those days, the readership lasted for a period of about 4 years. Someone usually began at 8 and gave it up by 12. So since it had been 5 years since the Flash had terminated his existence, I said, let's try to put out another Flash. Only this time, the only thing I kept about the Golden Age Flash is the name and the super speed. Everything else I changed. The secret identity, the city where he lived, who his girlfriend was, how he became the Flash, and so on. And it proved to be very successful. After 4 tryout issues in a magazine we had called Showcase, it was decided to put Flash in its own comic. Now, an interesting thing about that is when I had the issue prepared to go to print, I asked Erwin Donnefeld, who was our editor-in-chief, so to speak, what shall I call this Flash? Shall I call it Flash number 1? Or shall I call it Flash 105, because the original Flash had lasted only 204 issues. So what I'm about to say always gets a laugh at a convention, where Erwin Donnefeld said, it's obvious what it should be called, 105. So I said, why not number 1? He says, because when a new potential reader comes to a comic book stand and sees 100 comics standing in front of him, or perched in front of him, situated, whatever it is, and he saw a magazine number 1 and a magazine number 105, what is he going to buy? He's going to buy 105 because he knows it's good enough to last 105 issues. Number 1, who knows what's in it? So that's what happened.
Tell me about Green Lantern.
Well, Green Lantern was the next, since the Flash proved to be a huge success, I was asked to put out another revival of a superhero, and Green Lantern was also a big favorite of mine. So I said, let's put out Green Lantern. I did the same thing. I changed everything about him except his name. One change I thought was a personal interest to me. While the original Green Lantern wore his power ring on the left hand, I put it on the right hand. I thought it'd be different. And it also proved to be a success, followed immediately by the Justice League of America. It was based on the Justice Society of America. I didn't like the word society. It sounded like a social club. So I decided to change the name from society to league, because everyone knew what a league was. It's the baseball league, football league, and so on. It became the Justice League of America. After a tryout of 4 issues, it again proved to be a success. I followed it up with the Hawkman and the Atom, and I guess that began the Silver Age and kept the Silver Age going till whatever age we're living in now.
Just one more question.
Okay.
Why do you get credit for inventing the Fantastic Four?
Well, I heard this story. I don't know if it's true. Our president, the president of DC Comics, was Jack Leibowitz, who was very friendly with Martin Goodman, who was the head of Marvel Comics. And they used to play golf together. So one day, Jack Leibowitz boasted about the fact they have a hot item on their hand. It was the Justice League of America, or maybe the Brave and Bold, wherever they appeared. I don't recall which issue it was. And he explained that it was a team-up of superheroes, which no one thought of doing since we discontinued All-Star Comics. So Martin Goodman went over to his editor named Stan Lee and said, DC has a hot item. They have a league. They have a league of superheroes working together. Why don't we put out some? So, next thing we knew, Fantastic Four appeared with the title, the world's greatest comic. Is that really true, folks? Is that enough?
Thank you very much.